Hello, CUNA. So we're going to have a rare sighting of Representative Tina Lambert, who's our representative for CUNA District 23, speaking publicly. I think this is like the first time I've actually caught her on one of these cams. So she also wrote an email regarding last Friday. By lunchtime on Friday, all of the maintenance budgets had passed in their initial chambers, 5 of them in the House and the other 5 in the Senate. Next week, the Senate bills will go to the House, and the House bills will go to the Senate. It feels like progress. So these were the maintenance budgets. So instead of the old way where you combine all of the new spending with the money just to keep things going, the old way was that they were all combined. So if they had a vote, they had a vote for the whole shebang. Now it's separated, and this is one of them that Representative Tina Lambert spoke on. So let's get a chance of hearing her speak before the House.
I'd like to request unanimous consent to.
Pass the House. Is there correction to title?
No correction to title.
Hearing none.
Oh, Representative Durant was absent for these votes. This was last Friday, and Senator Lakey, I believe he voted. I believe it was on party lines for the maintenance budget in the Senate side.
House Bill 459. I'll have before it House Bill 460. Good lady from 23.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to request unanimous consent to stop further reading of House Bill 460.
As consent has been requested. Is there objection? Hearing none, the lady has the floor to present the bill.
This is the fiscal year 2025 maintenance budget for the Public Schools Support Program. This bill includes $3,071,699,000, with $2,694,054,100 coming from the general fund. Funding in this bill is for all 7 divisions of public schools, including administrators, teachers, operations, children's programs, facilities, central services, and educational services for the deaf and blind. At a very high level, this amount of funding basically the same amount that was appropriated to public schools in the current year, with the biggest difference being no ARPA funds are included in this maintenance bill. So I would encourage your green light.
Thank you, lady. For the motion, for debate on the motion. The gentleman from 19.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to debate the bill.
Gentleman has the floor.
Just a brief.
Tinkering with non-discretionary funds that are set in statute, and that is not the role of
The good lady stand for a question or two.
Lady, yield to the question.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, good lady, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. So every year, there are teachers who may move up or down or around on the career ladder. So I think the career ladder, as it stood last year, is in this base budget. So with that, though, what about those that automatically move? How are we dealing with that in the base budget if we are not including the moves in that career ladder that are automatic?
Good lady, 23.
So the career ladder is included in the maintenance budget.
Follow up. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and good lady. So I understand that the base of the career ladder from last year is in there, but there are additional items because if I'm a teacher and I got promoted, I automatically have moved up to maybe another point on the ladder. So how do we say it's a base budget if that is not included in the base budget of what my raise should be because I moved up on the career ladder?
Good lady from 23.
Well, I may have to punt that particular question to the good lady from 32.
Good lady from 32. Yield to the question.
The lady yields.
Thank you, good lady. Lady yields. Would you state your question again, please?
I certainly will, and thank you to the good ladies. My question is, if we have a career ladder and we move on that career ladder from last year to this year, it should be an automatic boost in that career ladder budget. So I'm wondering if those positions have all been included within this particular base budget.
Good lady from 23.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A good lady from 6. Thank you. Thank you. That will come in a future budget. Had we have included non-discretionary for teachers this year because of fewer students and fewer support units, this would have included a $42 million reduction. Career ladder is included. Advancements on the career ladder will come in a future bill. Thank you.
Good lady from 6.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to debate the bill.
Lady has the floor to debate the bill.
Thank you. Again, as the good gentleman said from 31, there are definitely some components to our base budget of K-12 that are not included that concern me. As we've talked before, I want to be as transparent as possible, but if they're not going to be included within a base budget, and if it was my raise that it was part, I would be very nervous if another budget does not get passed out of this body. So I am hoping in the future that our JFAC committee will consider those items so that we don't have the same concern going forward. I will vote for the bill, but I just wanted to state to the body I still have those concerns and hope that we will look at that in the future. Thank you.
Hey, good lady, for debate on the motion. Gentleman 25.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In favor of the bill. I wanted to add some clarity to the career ladder.
school budget. And there is a request from the superintendent for one way to fix that problem. There's a recommendation from the governor for another way to solve that problem. And I'm sure that we will come up with our own way to solve that problem. I am confident that we will do something about that issue. It's going to take a little bit of work to get the budget that school districts I know are.
Going once. Gentleman 13. What would you like to do?
Mr. Speaker, a question for the good lady from District 23.
Good lady from 23 yield to a question.
Lady yields.
Lady yields.
Very good, Mr. Speaker, good lady. We've heard a lot, so I'm somewhat confused, trying to make the question simple. So the JPAC members and this process, are you considering statutory adjustments to be standalone items?
Good lady 23.
Could you rephrase that, please?
Gentleman 13.
Good lady, if I were a budget and a statutory item, would you put me in as a separate line item?
Well, how about if I just repeat this as a maintenance budget? It's everything that this body approved last year, minus the ARPA funds, and this body will get a chance to vote on more, I can assure you, in coming weeks. Does that help?
Gentleman from 13.
To debate?
Gentleman has the floor. Debate the bill.
I don't know if that helps. We've talked about context, and we've had some comments with regard to having these follow. I don't know that there's a name yet for the follow-up bills, but context is important, and it seemed like it still would have been a good idea to have those along with these. You know, context is important. You take money and time. If I made $10,000, you may say, well, that's great or that's terrible. I made $10,000 last year. Not so great. I made $10,000 yesterday. That's great. That's context. You know, one of Kenny's 1-minute lessons. But the context would be nice when we could see these together, see the impact, be able to plug them in, take them out. I'm still waiting to see what I do, but that's been recommended, and the context is important. So, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. For debate on the motion. Gentleman 26.
Just one consideration for the committee as they look at process, and that pertains to the good representative.
Mr. Speaker.
21.
Gentlemen, good lady.
Point of order.
Lady,
I believe we're debating the bill.
good point. And the good gentleman, are you debating the bill or are we doing context?
I will realign and debate the bill.
The gentleman has the floor to debate the bill.
As per discussion here and on past bills, policy is wonderful to me when we make mistakes on money and we vote on a bill. That's true heartburn. My concern is having a mistake, and the $160 million mistake that didn't go out. That's not one I'm very comfortable with. Whether we spend it or not is beside the point. And the correlation would be local property taxes. When we pass a bond, we don't vote on the mill levy. We vote on the amount that's to be raised. Our assessors adjust the mill levy with the available funds. We end up with what we have to build a new school or whatever we do. I would be a lot more comfortable with this bill is instead of setting the method, like arguing between attendance and enrollment, is simply when we appropriate the money clearly in the bill. If we want $10 to go out the door, that we set the formula so the $10 actually goes out the door. As to the good representative from 30's point, that's a little bit more policy, but it also pertains to how we set up and put the bucks out the door. So when we get done here, my wish with these budgets is that it's absolutely clear whether we spend $1 or $10. When it goes through the floor, we know exactly that amount of money is going out. Thank you.
Gentleman for 6 for debate on the motion. Lady from 18.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a quick point of order.
Point of order.
I should have a question. In 10 years, I feel like I've heard probably 30 debates where people are debating the process that underlies the bill. Is that out of order? Is it not acceptable to debate process in addition to content of the bill?
Lady, I probably let it go too far when I let it go to the process originally. It needs to stay to the bill. But because I let it get that far, I've let it continue to go there, hoping that you guys would get tired of talking to each other about the process and vote on the bill. But it's not working that way. So probably on the next bill, we will just stick to the bill. But with that, you bring up a good point, good lady from 18. Good gentleman, 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I could point of order.
Gentleman has the floor for point of order.
And for a privilege, maybe, at the same time. Questions regarding debate, I would just refer you to Chapter 10, Section 100. If you guys go through that on Masons, there's quite a bit about that, and I think that are pertinent. We're probably pushing lines. Specifically, when we talk about process, on 5, it says neither is.
Once again, this is a great maintenance budget, and
I would encourage you to do what I just recommended and look at House Rule number 39. Is there further debate on the motion? Hearing none. Would lady 23 care to close?
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, this is a great maintenance budget, and you can rest assured you'll be seeing more budgets in the future pertaining to public schools, and this body will get to decide on them then.
Thank you, lady. Debate's closed. Question is House Bill 460 passed the House. Clerk will mark the machine and members record the votes.
Anyway, you can see here our representative Melissa Durant was looks like abstained, probably likely absent. Anyway, that's all. So have a good day. Bye bye.